Yesterday, we started to study the Beatitudes in Matthew 5, and we talked about the fact that that Greek word is makarios, and it means to be fortunate or well off. And then we went through verses 1 through 6, and we talked about the fact that all of those are pointing out the need for Christ. And the reason that they are well off, the reason they are blessed, the reason they're fortunate is because they are in a position where they're recognizing their need for Christ. Just to give you a quick review, verse 3, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. If you're poor in spirit, you recognize your need for Christ. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Why are you blessed? Because God is drawing near to you and comforting you. You're getting more of your relationship with Christ. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. You are teaching that peace. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. The only place to get that righteousness is through your relationship with Jesus Christ. And you get an abundance of that righteousness through your relationship with Jesus Christ. So it's recognizing that need for Jesus Christ. Now, as we move to verse 7, blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Now, these next three verses, I really had to think about in a deep way. I had to spend a lot of time reading commentary, a lot of time in prayer, and all of a sudden it hit me like a ton of bricks. And when I saw this, it really changed how I see these Beatitudes. Verse 7, 8, and 9 are about our behavior. And I was like, well, doesn't that cancel out the grace? Doesn't that make it more works oriented? And the more I prayed over it, the more I studied, the faster I started to realize that that's not what's happening here at all. So verse 7 says, blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Okay, so if I'm merciful to somebody else, I'm going to be fortunate, I'm going to be well off, I am going to be blessed. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. So if I'm pure in heart, that's the second thing, I am going to see God. That sounds like it's works oriented to me at first. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. And again, that sounds like I have to work towards peace. I have to be somebody who makes peace in order to be called a son of God. But then I saw it. And when I saw this, it really blew my mind. All of these are things that happen as we grow in our relationship with Christ. So you get the relationship first. That is not works oriented. That is faith. We put our faith and trust in Jesus Christ, and we are showered with that grace. Part of that grace is we start to grow in our relationship with Christ. And as we grow in that relationship, we're spending more time with Christ. We're recognizing Christ working in our lives. We're becoming merciful. We're becoming more pure in the heart. And we're becoming peacemakers because Christ is getting bigger and bigger inside of me, and it's becoming less of me. It goes back to that message that we did right at New Year's about having more of Jesus and less of me. This is about growing in your relationship with Christ. And of course, you are blessed, you are fortunate, you are well off when you grow in your relationship with Jesus Christ. Verse 10, blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Once again, being persecuted doesn't sound fun. That does not sound like something that is blessed, fortunate, well off. That doesn't sound right to me. But as I think about this, if you are standing up for Christ and you are standing up for what you believe in, and you are not conforming to the society around you, you are going to be persecuted. Even if it's just as simple as being laughed at, teased, told that you're a Jesus freak. You are going to have that persecution. And we are blessed because it builds our relationship with Christ. And you're recognizing the importance of your relationship with Christ. Verse 11, blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven, for so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Now, think this through. You're being reviled, you're being teased, you're being picked on. They're uttering evil against you. They're waiting for you to fall. But here's the cool thing about that. They know you're a follower of Jesus Christ, and they're waiting for you to fall. And sometimes you will. Sometimes you won't get it right, because we're all human and we all have sin in our lives. But they're expecting you to not get back up. They're expecting you to fall apart. And when you don't, they're having to utter all kinds of evil against you falsely. They're lying about you. They're trying to sway the other people in your life against you. And that's okay. We have to recognize that that is not our battle. That is the battle that God is going to battle for us. And then we're to rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. We're to remember to rejoice and praise God for who he is, and recognize that while the reward is not here on earth, it is going to be in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Now, when you read those prophets in the Old Testament, you are going to see it was not an easy time for them. But they remained true to God. And even in in Jonah, at first he was rejecting God's call, but eventually he became true to God. And when we do that, we are rewarded, and that reward is going to be happening in heaven. So we've got to recognize that when we go through this tough stuff, and life is tough, there's no doubt about it. Life is not easy. Adulting really isn't a great time, that's for sure. But when we're going through this tough stuff, it is building our relationship with Christ. We are drawing closer to him. And because of that, we are blessed. Today is Friday, so I'll remind you there's no video tomorrow, but I'll be back with you on Sunday. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.